Good evening. It is the 17th day of September, a significant day in the ICC case involving Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto and radio journalist Joshua Arap Sang.
Indeed, and for the first time, Ruto and Sang got to hear firsthand from a witness what they are alleged to have done.
And as always, we have lined up for you a comprehensive coverage of this historic trial. And we begin in The Hague, where KTN's senior national affairs reporter Rita Tinina is in place with a look at the day's events.
Good evening from The Hague, where the first witness in the trial against Deputy President William Ruto took the stand. Witness number 536 is said to have survived the attack on the Kiambaa church, which left at least 35 people dead during the post-election violence. The witness, who is a woman, will enjoy witness protection. She had her face blurred and her voice distorted as she recounted events of the post-election violence. KTN's Asha Mwilu has the highlights of the testimony by witness number 536.
To leave the church, they would...
Her image was pixelated and her voice distorted to conceal her identity, but her testimony was loud and clear.
Walikuwa ni watu wengi, karibu watu 1,000 walikaa chini.
There were a lot of them, many of them, about 1,000 of them.
But even before the prosecutor's first witness could narrate her experience in the chilling Kiambaa arson, Deputy President William Ruto's defense team was already raising the flag of a potential false testimonies.
Is the prosecution prepare a short pro forma document that should be signed by the witness, that the witness has been informed clearly and unequivocally that not only should they tell the truth, but that it is a criminal offence to perjure oneself that may result in imprisonment.
It's a we can rule on that. That we need not overstretch the matter of that exercise.
Seeking to open her case against Ruto with an emotional trip down memory lane, the prosecutor cross-examined witness number 536 on the horrifying Kiambaa arson attack where more than 30 people were burnt alive in a church.
As those youth came closer, they sang, saying, "Hoi, hoi."
They set the mattresses on fire. I was trying to find some way to get out of there. It was difficult to get out of the church since some people were in front of the small door.
She went on to describe the specific events she alleges to have witnessed.
She was taken by her legs. One leg on one side, another on the other side. She was raped. And afterwards, when I saw that she had been raped, I was surprised. And sometime afterwards, we called the notable person. That person was struck with an axe, and I just lost it, basically.
You mentioned that you saw a gentleman by the name of, or a person called Chemalan. Can you tell the chamber what are his full names?
His name is Stephen Kiplitin Chemalan. He was holding a blue container.
The proceedings were, however, not short of challenges. With the witness testifying in Swahili language, concerns were raised that some aspects were getting lost in translation.
Wengine walikuwa wamevaa vinyasa.
Some of them were wearing leaves.
The witness will continue her testimony on Wednesday when the defense teams will get a chance to cross-examine her after the prosecution is done with its session. Prosecutor Fatu Bensouda is said to have lined up 10 witnesses in the case against William Ruto and radio presenter Joshua Sang. Asha Mwilu, KTN, Nairobi.
As the first witness took the stand, trial chamber number 5A went into several private sessions as part of measures to protect the identity of the witness. Witness number 536 is among ICC witnesses who remain anonymous to the public. But when, why, and how does the ICC protect its witnesses? I sought some answers.
Natamka kwa dhati
ya kwamba nitasema ukweli.
When prosecution witness number 536 took the stand before trial chamber 5A, the 37-year-old became the first to give her testimony against Deputy President William Ruto.
Ya Wakalenjin ambao wanakaa katika Kiambo village.
Ndio.
But her age and gender are perhaps the closest the public will get to know of the witness. She joins the list of ICC witnesses under the court's witness protection program.
Protection in this sense encompasses both the physical and psychological well-being of the witness.
When witnesses arrive at the ICC, they are first familiarized with the courtroom and court process.
A lot of witnesses may have never been in a courtroom before and might feel intimidated in front of a number of people and judges and lawyers. So they have to pass through this familiarization to know what they will be facing, who they will be facing.
The judges then assess and decide whether or not the witness requires protection. That was the case for witness 536.
This witness, so it is understood, has been assessed by the chamber and found to deserve protection measures.
The blurring of the face of the witnesses and the voice distortion are part of the protective measures for witnesses while inside the courtroom. Witnesses may also use pseudonyms. The protection extends outside the courtroom.
Helping them, ameliorating their own security if they are staying in the same place, being allowed to have a rapid intervention if necessary, and also medical care if it is necessary.
In court, the ICC says protection is also psychological. A lawyer or family member may be allowed to sit next to the witness to make them comfortable.
The witness have sitting with her during her testimony an assistant from the VWU.
In certain instances where the security of witnesses may be compromised, the court can order the relocation of witnesses, but only as a last resort.
Whether on a temporary basis or permanently, whether inside the same country or in another country.
In the William Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang case, not all witnesses may need protection. European-based witness Harvey Mopu, who will be testifying as an expert witness, is set to testify in open court.
A victim may be called as a witness, but it is not necessary that every witness is a victim, and not every victim will be called as a witness.
The push by Kenya to withdraw from the International Criminal Court has now found its way into the courtroom at the ICC. Legal teams are tomorrow morning set to make submissions on the effect a resolution by the Kenyan Parliament may have on the Kenyan cases before the ICC. KTN's Samogina reports.
William Samoei Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang.
Kenya's offensive to divorce herself from the Rome Statute has affected case one against Deputy President William Ruto and Joshua Sang. The prosecution says the Kenyan Parliament is partly to blame for the derailing of the trial.
And the prosecutor had indicated on the record that the reason, or part of the reason, why witnesses were unavailable was certain developments in the Kenyan Parliament relating to certain resolution passed.
The Kenyan Parliament's decision will on Wednesday be subject of the trial chamber. The prosecution claiming the withdrawal motion has had a direct bearing on the well-being of its witnesses.
We will take submissions tomorrow on whether or not the development in question is something that should be taken into account as a factor in the chamber's measures to in court protection measures for witnesses.
And as such, the prosecution and defense teams have been asked to submit their critique of Kenya's decision vis-a-vis witness protection.
We should be prepared to address the question: is it a fact that the Parliament of Kenya debated and adopted resolutions that may have any relevance to this case? If so, what? If so, when? If so, why?
This development coming hot on the heels of reports that 2 more prosecution witnesses have indicated their unwillingness to testify in the case. A few days after 4 witnesses bolted out, the prosecution has decried high levels of witness attrition in prosecuting both Kenyan cases.
This trial is the culmination of a long and difficult investigations. It has been fraught with cooperation challenges and obstacles relating to the security of witnesses.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly resumed its session Tuesday with a renewed resolve to effect the motion that is causing heat at the ICC. Majority Leader Edan Duale intimating the bill to repeal the International Crimes Act will be tabled in Parliament Thursday. The National Assembly is seeking to compel the executive to petition the United Nations Security Council, signaling its intent to pull out of the Rome Statute.
We are dealing with the ICC issue politically, not only for Kenya, but for the whole of Africa.
When is the bill being tabled?
I have 30 days from the day the special session of the House was done. So watch the 30 days, count the 30 days.
While the trial chamber ponders on Kenya's offensive on witness protection, the appeals chamber is equally grappling with an appeal where President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto want to be excused from attending all court sessions. Samugina, KTN.
Aside from submissions on Kenya's move to withdraw from the ICC, Trial Chamber Number 5A presiding Judge Chile Eboy Osuji also asked legal teams to prepare submissions on the issue of witness protection. The prosecution is expected to conclude with witness number 536 before the court breaks for lunch tomorrow. We are keeping it here in The Hague, and we will continue to update you on all the developments at the International Criminal Court. From The Hague, I hand things back to you in studio.